Hello, welcome to this weather update. A very active day across the area today, depending on where you were, of course. We didn't get much action here in much of Long Island, but the North Shore, the Hudson Valley, parts of northeastern New Jersey, and Connecticut wound up getting quite a bit of rain and some heavy storms, and they just keep forming over that same spot. If we look at the current radar right now, you'll see we had another set of storms here going through here, the same area. So these storms keep hitting the same area over and over again. And for Long Island, not much going on here at all. All right, and tremendous amounts of rain fell in the area. And of course, we did get a view of the storms because they did wind up hitting. If we go to the, let's rewind the radar here. Let's go back to a little bit before 3 o'clock. And here is this area of a really heavy thunderstorm activity. There are flash flood warnings and severe thunderstorm warnings out with the cell. Northeastern New Jersey, the Bronx, Lower Westchester getting hit very hard. Metro North actually was suspended on at least, I think it was suspended on the New Haven line for a while, and also the Harlem line for a while. And there was flooding due to this storm because it dumped a lot of rain. So you can see what happened. Here's 320. You can see it going by to the north. Here it is. Looks like it hits Glen Cove and Oyster Bay. They get quite a storm up there. And then you can see the North Shore is just getting all the activity. You have to be right on literally, though, on the extreme North Shore, like I would say Great Neck, Port Washington, Glen Cove, Oyster Bay, Huntington. You can see that whole area getting, here we are at 4:30. And you can see that it just keeps forming on there. So there's another batch. This batch hits the Hudson Valley. So you can see this whole area, has gotten a lot of rain, tremendous amount of rain. Here we are at 7 o'clock. You can see another shower popping up there. And then we'll watch this latest batch here forming again over the same area and hitting that same area again. So quite a bit of rain. We're going to look at these rainfall totals as well. But first, before I show you that, I have a video for you, which will be up in a little bit. But let me just show you some pictures of what it looks like from here in Mineola. I did try to get a view, and at first I went to the Harrison Avenue, the new Harrison garage, where it was so humid that my camera fogged up, and then I got kicked out. They were very nice about it, but they just don't want anyone up there, not even to watch a storm, it's absolutely ridiculous. It really is. I told the guard, it's ridiculous. He's like, well, you could view into people's windows. I'm like, what? How can I see anything from here? He was nice about it, but I think it's ridiculous that you can't watch a storm from there. I'm sorry. It's ridiculous, and I'm going to be complaining to the village of Mineola about it because there's such little open space here in Mineola to watch these things, So I went to the other garage that was closer to Main Street, and I got these views here of the storm passing to the north. And maybe this is a better view anyway, a little higher up. And you can see, look at that dark sky there. And again, we had pretty ominous clouds here going. I did see some lightning as well. Again, this is what the storm looked like. Pretty impressive cloud formations. Here's another look at it. Really just threatening looking here. Very threatening looking. But it all passed us to the north. There you go. Another look at it. Really, almost looked like a tornado could drop down from there. But there wasn't a tornado warning with it. And again, this is as it's going over Glen Cove and Oyster Bay. That's what it looks like over there. And then we still had some interesting clouds over us as well. Here's another look at some of them. And after it passed, there was still dark clouds off to the north. This is from the train station parking garage. It's the only place you can get a view in Mineola. It's like Queens here with all the big buildings. And then later on in Belmore, we got to take a look at some. Again, this is remnants of a storm right here. It's just remnants of it, but you can clearly see. Look closely. You see there's the Mammatus clouds. So this is remnants of a storm. Still really impressive to see these clouds. It's quite amazing. There's a cumulonimbus in the distance, and another look here later on in Lynbrook. Here's another remnant cloud of a storm. That's all we got with remnant clouds moving over. And then this was off to the north of us. You're actually back in New White Park again. You could see, waiting for my second bus, there was another storm. This is out of the storm that moved over Westchester County. And you could see lightning in the distance to the north as well. So that was this storm right here. So let's go to the current observations and take a look and see what's going on, because we were some pretty strong wind gusts out there. Strong southwest winds, 77, but look at the dew points. They're very high. Dew points in the mid-70s, 77 with a dew point of 73 at Islip. And you can take a look at these wind gusts as well. These dew points are ridiculous. Mid-70s dew points, Jersey especially high. But everybody is just, this is downright tropical air here. Even up into the Hudson Valley, look at that. Waldwick, 74 degree dew point. I mean, this is just unbelievably humid air that we're talking about, and that's why we're seeing so much rain out of it. So let's now go and look at the highs. We'll get the highs over it, but the most important thing is going to be the rainfall. Not that warm over Long Island. Plenty of cloud cover. We had only low 80s, that strong southwest flow. But if you were in Jersey, take a look at this. Highs in the mid-90s. So while we were dealing with not a bad day, just very humid, they had the same kind of humidity with high temperatures in the mid-90s. 94 in Toms River for a high. How's that? That's absolutely brutal. That's the main number one reason why living there could kill me. All right, so it probably will kill me because it's just too damn hot. So let's go to the precipitation. But of course, a certain group of people would probably like me off the face. Well, I'm not going anywhere. But let's take a look and see what these rainfall totals are. All right, this is insane here. So here we go. A month's worth of rain in some of these areas here. So you'll notice here, Long Island not getting that much, or you see a few high amounts on the North Shores, 1.20 in Northport, 2.16 over there by Wading River. But take a look at these rainfall totals in the Hudson Valley. This is insane, and this caused a lot of flooding. So here we go. Look at that. New Rochelle, 4 inches of rain. Tenafly, 4.53 inches of rain. Fairlawn, 3.68 inches of rain. Teterboro, 2.71 inches of rain. This is insane. This is an insane amount of rain for Westchester. 4.19 inches of rain at Tarrytown. That's insane. So this affected Metro North, and they may still be having problems. We're going to have to go to Metro North right now. And again, the whole northern part of New Jersey, look at this. They just got pounded with all this rain. This caused a lot of flooding. And there's going to be a lot of high rivers as a result of this. 3.25 at Ramapo River. So this is really going to produce this is going to cause a lot of flooding. Sure, this is all part of the climate crisis here. I do see a 1.86 in Syosset. I don't know how true that is. But maybe one stray cell popped up over there. Who knows? But absolutely incredible. We're going to see if we can find some storm reports here. Let's see if we can get some storm reports here. They haven't. Either storm reports or public information statements. So it'll probably be a public information statement. Nope, nothing from there. Well, local storm report. All right, here we go. So here is from today's storms here, the 18th here. 39-mile-an-hour wind gust at Mamaroneck. A 40-mile-an-hour wind gust at Glen Cove. Okay, that's not that impressive. Lightning, though. Lightning strike a home in Bergen County, New Jersey, New Milford. And another house struck by lightning, Woodcliff Lake. Flash flood reported in Greenport. Main Street in Greenport is closed due to flooding. DPW reports several cars stranded in floodwaters. A flash flood in Fairlawn in Bergen County. Reports of stranded cars under the railroad underpass. Multiple rescues underway. Sands Point, a 55-mile-an-hour wind gust. Thunderstorm wind damage in Bergen County at Tenafly. Large tree down on wires. Flash flood in Hackensack. Multiple vehicles stuck on floodwaters on Passaic Street near the Dunkin' Donuts. Fire department is responding. Route 17 closed at Route 4 due to flooding. Cars stranded with multiple water rescues ongoing. This is in Rochelle Park. Lodi. Pictures of car partially submerged at Car Wash. Hackensack and Bergen County. Cars stranded in floodwaters on Newman Street at Lee Place. Fire department responding. A flash flood in Lodi. Flooding on 46 west of Summit Avenue and Hasbrook Heights. All lanes closed and detoured. Carlo Drive closed to flooding. Fairlawn, there's a lot of reports here flooding in Fairlawn. 5 cars submerged in Fairlawn. Flash flood in Bronxville and Westchester County. Road closure both directions on Bronx River Parkway between exit Springbrook Parkway and Route 722. Yeah, Yonkers was hit pretty hard. Flash flood in Englewood and Bergen County. Flash flood in Saddlebrook. Marine wind gust of 47 miles an hour in Glen Cove. A flash flood in Hackensack, Lodi Street. In the Bronx, all lanes blocked on I-87. The Major Deegan was closed. Wow, that's pretty bad. Flash flood in Passaic County. Water rescue for a vehicle stuck in floodwaters near the train station. Flooding on the Taconic State Parkway, both directions between start route Taconic State Parkway, Bronx River Parkway, and the town of North Castle. Flooding in Pelham. Flooding and road closure in Hutchinson River Parkway southbound between exit 7 and Hutchinson Boulevard southbound side. 69 mile an hour wind gust reported at Sands Point. Wow, that's pretty impressive. A flash flood in Bergen County. All northbound lanes closed at exit 69 on the New Jersey Turnpike. In Washington Heights, there was a flash flood. Widespread street flooding on Dickman Street with water above wheel wells of cars. Flash flood in the Bronx. Flooding on I-87 Major Deegan. Flooding in Fairfield and Bronx River Parkway flooded with 2 to 3 feet of standing water. And a flash flood in Elmsford and Westchester County on the Sawmill River Parkway. And a flash flood in Stamford as well. Cars stranded in flood waters on Canal and South State Street. So this is pretty bad, surprisingly. And like I said, Long Island, we really dodged the bullet here with this. They have the link. Here's the link to the storm report. So this is what we just read here. This is another link to it. So I'll give you that link. But really just insane what we saw today. Absolutely insane with the flooding. And let's see if we can get some pictures of it as well. Let's go to the news media. I guess we can look over that and just go CBS New York, because I'm sure they were talking about, should be their top story. Thunderstorms bring flash flooding and damaging winds. So this is some of what was going on here. And this is what I shared as well. Cars submerged in several New Jersey communities. Here you go. It's a look at what's going on over there. Pretty crazy. New Haven lines restored service. Look at what the flooding is. So those are some things here that. Look at this. That's I think that's the Bronx.
This ain't far Rockaway.
Just really crazy amount of rain here. Flooding under the 1 train in Inwood. So I don't know if the subways were affected by this. Power outages. PSEG. I guess in New Jersey at 22,633, JCP&L 2,709.
We begin with Lonnie Quinn with the latest on our first alert forecast. Lonnie.
Well, KJ, it's still active outside, but it's not as bad as it was, say, from like
North Jersey
2
deals with
o'clock
deluge and a
until
home hit
5
by
or 6
lightning.
o'clock.
So here's
this is what you're currently looking at. Now we got a pretty good band right here in Westchester County.
Metro North was
we'll get closer in on that in just a moment. I think another band back here. This will probably make its way into the city. I'd say sometime around 11 p.m. tonight. But thus far today, this band right here has been where the biggest rain has fallen, and even northeastern New Jersey had a flood warning, had a flood advisory that was in effect until 9 p.m. It just expired one whole minute ago. But you can see all the flooding reports we've got. We've got some big winds out there as well. Right off of New Rochelle, we had a 68-mile-per-hour gust off onto Abuhi offshore, but still it was out there. All of these little icons are flooded roads. The pictures KJ just showed you, they tell the story, right? You've got water up to the windows, if not the top of the windows of some of these cars out here. And would you look at this? Look at that. Up around Kingston, a confirmed waterspout took place earlier today, so there was some twist in the atmosphere as well. You can zoom in tight. Heaviest cell currently right now on Westchester County, getting ready to push into Connecticut and Fairfield County, pushing towards Greenwich and into New Canaan as well. But there's another batch back here, which will move in, looks like sometime around 11. Again, you give or take, but it's out of here by tomorrow, 92. That begins our whole news story of weather, and it's all going to be about the heat and the heat wave that's going to begin. KJ, more on that a little bit later.
That's incredible right there.
This world I look out
there it is. You can see already the bright skies there behind it. Quite something to see. There it is again. Well, I mean, that is quite something to see. I think I got a better view from Mineola, though, actually. or a little further away from the city there. But that is a really impressive storm right there. There was quite a bit of lightning strikes with it too as well. Just really impressive there. It looks like it did wind up raining eventually in the city. We didn't really get much.
Back to the flooding in New Jersey, where it stopped cars in their tracks and left some drivers stranded. CBS 2's Alice Gaynor live in Hackensack with the latest on today's weather in northern New Jersey.
This is what happens, when you have this humidity out.
Christine, we're here on Lodi Street in Hackensack.
I didn't realize this was on.
We have seen car after car drive through these floodwaters. We've also seen numerous tow trucks coming by.
All right, I do apologize if you had to hear that. If you had to hear their voice on top of mine, I do apologize. I didn't realize that was on. My mistake. But really, really bad here. So I'll link you to the CBS 2 report. It's just really just crazy. What happened today? Absolutely crazy. So we looked at the weather and hazards map. We're going to go now to the underground map and get some more rainfall reports because this is incredible. Some of these rainfall numbers. So you see Long Island, barely, not that much here. I mean, barely a 0.05 here in Mineola. Meanwhile, you go up to, look at this. Even within Port Washington, look at this. All right, so the main part of Port Washington there, this is showing 0. I know how accurate that is. But this area here, 0.83. But then look what happens when you go up to Sands Point, 2.17. So if you're in Port Washington, you just missed it. Glen Cove, all right, 1.73. All right, but they really didn't get into the really heavy stuff. It looks like Bayville got into it, 2.43. There could have been some flooding over there, perhaps. 2.47 there in Bayville. 1.86 in Oyster Bay. 1.79 in Huntington Bay, 2.47 in Eaton's Neck. Look at this. So you can see the North Shore wound up getting a lot, even into Port Jefferson. 2.11 there in Port Jefferson. Look at that, 2.7 in Wading River. So this is kind of interesting. So it looks like Rocky Point got a dousing today as well, 2.08. So we really made up for the rain in a lot of areas. Not everywhere. You can see West Hampton's a bone dry, depending on where you were. This is that Greenport area. You can see, look at this, 3 inches of rain in Greenport today. So yeah, that's a lot of rain. So all that rain in just one day. This is not normal at all. That is what we deal with climate change. We don't get it spread out. We get it in one day. And again, look at some of these amounts here, 3.18. I mean, this is, I'll just go through Bergen County here. Paramus, 2.89. Hasbrook Heights, 2.66. All right, that's not that crazy when you go up into Westchester and you see some of these high amounts. See, look at this, a 5.54 in Dobbs Ferry, 4.11 south of White Plains. This is insane. 3.25. I mean, this is crazy amounts of rain. 3.71, 4.52 in Pelham Manor. I mean, this is incredible. And we just watched it go by to the north here. I have a video of it. I mean, it just must have been something to see. So 1.99 in New Canaan, 2.44 in Pound Ridge. So Westchester getting nailed. 3.53 in Pleasantville. So yeah, this is quite. 3.2 in Harrington Park. So this is quite bad. 2.82 in Montclair Heights. So again, this just gives you an example of how much rain fell today. And absolutely insane. Let's go to News 12 Westchester, and I'm sure this should be their top story. I hope it is. Otherwise, who knows? Hopefully News 12 Westchester. It's not the top story. You got to be kidding me. Oh, my gosh. They didn't even cover it. They're speaking about guns. Oh, my God. They really missed them. That's because Westchester is you know why? Because Westchester is filmed out of Long Island. That's why. So, political news. I mean, they didn't even. Oh my God! How could they not cover that? Oh my God! Maybe News 12 the Bronx. This is disgraceful. Oh my gosh! Well, that's because it's based out of Long Island. People in Westchester really got screwed. Well, let's see what they got. Did they cover this at all? Thunderbolt 12 tracks stormy conditions. So they really did a really bad job covering this. I gotta say, News 12, all the News 12s. Maybe News 12 New Jersey did a better job covering this. Otherwise, I don't know. All right, it looks like they did it better. Because New Jersey, for some reason, this is what I mean, New York and New Jersey. New York, it's all about what these white finance professionals, and then when you go to New Jersey, they gear to everybody. It's totally different. I know, it's like the News 12s in New York are just geared to a certain demographic, and the News 12s in New Jersey is not. So powerful storms cause flooding in parts of northern New Jersey. So here you go. They spent 3 minutes on it.
Tonight with News 12 New Jersey's Marcy Rubin.
So News 12 New Jersey is, I don't know, they are above and beyond, much better than all the other News 12s. Well, I don't want to have to go live in New Jersey.
And I'll tell you, it's
too hot there.
Too long at all.
Look at all that rain.
Low-lying intersections to
so there's the flooding in Passaic County. Unfortunately, like I said, we'll have to see. The city stations they're going to probably do a good job. The broadcast stations, like I said, I'll link you to that CBS report. But anyway, now that we've gotten all this out of the way, we've got to talk about the heat now, all right? Because that's the next thing we got to deal with, all right? And if you think it's hot, let me just, before I even show you the heat here, let's look up Mineola, Texas, to show you that this will make you feel cool at least, all right? So this is how hot it is in Mineola, Texas right now, right? So it's 93. Look at the week they are going to have in Mineola, Texas. Hundreds. So when we go look at the heat we're going to be dealing with, well, maybe it'll feel a little cooler. I'll just get down over there. But let's go. All right, so this rain's going to get out of here. We're going to have this ridge move in place here, and we're going to deal with that killer west wind tomorrow. And not much rain either. And the next front really won't be until probably Friday, it looks like. That'll just be like a dry front, all right? So let's now go to the HRRR and 0Z run, and we are going to look at the first, the precipitation. You'll see we won't have anything once this all clears out. Tomorrow will be dry, and Wednesday it looks like we'll be dry for the most part. Maybe an isolated shower, but the main thing is going to be the heat. So when we look at the wind flow here, you'll see what's going to happen here. Wind flows go to the west. All right, so we have that killer west wind. The dew point's slightly lower tomorrow. You'll notice the dew point's back off a little bit. Looks like a little more over New Jersey, maybe. You might actually see some dew points in the upper 50s. Long Island, probably mid-60s for dew points. It's still going to be humid, but less humid than it is now. I mean, this is what it is out in the alley. I mean, this is disgusting, all right? This is what it is. And, it's even warmer in the alley than it is, everywhere else, so... but it doesn't feel that bad on Long Island with the breeze until you get to the, my block. You'll see here that killer west wind. Looks like it does develop a sea breeze, probably which will help the South Shore, but we're not going to feel a thing here in the middle. And then the killer west wind continues on Wednesday. Maybe we see a little more of a sea breeze in the afternoon, but dew points will remain high. Like I said, not as high as they've been, so moderate levels of humidity, not tropical levels of humidity. But when you combine it with the heat, it's going to feel pretty bad. So let's go take a look at what those temperatures are going to be. And you can see there, look at that. We've got 90s, mid-90s in Jersey, mid-90s, I think, for much of Long Island. Islip will probably get above 90 tomorrow. I think Islip's going to have a good string of 90-degree days, as well as the city. Jersey already has started their heat wave, so they'll be on their second day tomorrow with it. And muggy at night. And then look at Wednesday. It's going to be even hotter. Jersey, upper 90s, perhaps even 100 degrees. Middle of Long Island, we're going to see mid-90s as well. So it's going to be pretty brutal, very hot. This is going to be one of the worst heat waves we've had in quite some time. All right. Now, if I want to go a little further along, look at the GFS. Same deal here on the GFS. Move it along to Thursday. Look at that. It's still hot. All right. And if we look at the wind flow, you'll see here we do have a southwest wind. So South Shore will be the place to be. I know. Yep, I know. But it's going to be the place to be. Everywhere else, it's going to be pretty inhospitable. Maybe it backs off a little bit on Thursday, where highs will only be around, Mineola is still going to get above 90, but maybe Islip will be around 90. I still think they're going to hit 90. Jersey, you're going to be pushing 100. And then look what happens Friday. Same deal again. Look at that. 90s. I moved this into the weekend. Look at the weekend. Look at Saturday. Upper 90s, perhaps 100 degrees. And it's just going to be taxing. And then maybe we finally start seeing it start to break as we head towards Sunday and Monday. All right, but we're going to have a full week of heat ahead. All right, and if we look at these dew points and the wind flow, which is what we're going to do now on the GFS as we move into Thursday, you see southwest winds. So at least there will be sea breezes on the South Shore for Thursday. But Friday, the winds go west, and there's probably not going to be a sea breeze anywhere on Friday. And Saturday, west-southwest wind. Very weak sea breezes. So Thursday, Friday and Saturday could be the hottest days on Long Island, but I think we're going to have at least 5 days in a row here of 90-plus on Long Island, and it's going to be pretty damn brutal. So let's go now look at the skies, which no one really should, probably no one in their right mind would be outside in this kind of heat, but let's go ahead and look and see what we've got to deal with. So for tomorrow, you'll see plenty of sunshine, probably a little haze, maybe occasional cirrus clouds, but the sun will be out. Plenty of sun and plenty of heat. Here we are at Wednesday. Plenty of sun as well, plenty of heat, and probably hazy, but maybe not hazy. It's hard to predict whether we're going to see that haze or not. That's hard to predict. Thursday, you'll see maybe a few more clouds around, and then by Friday, we are again. So we're going to have lots of sun. It's a good thing we got all this rain because now we're going to have a lot of heat. And it's important that we get that rain to replenish things. That's for sure. And that is the RGEM sky model, which is all I'm going to use tonight. But it's hard to say, air quality. We'd have to look at an air quality forecast, I guess. I don't see any air quality alerts posted yet. But we could look at the Earth Knoll School site and look at the air quality forecast. I guess we can do that. Kind of push this along. This uses the European, but we can use that. So we go to particles here. Particles is not that much. And I'll move this along. I think this goes by, let's see, is this 1 day here? Is that 1 day, or let's go by 1 day, I think. No. All right, we're going to go by a whole day ahead. So this here. So it doesn't look like there'll be that many particles. All right, I'll move this like afternoon, like 2 o'clock. All right. So you'll see here. Actually, that's UTC. All right, so here we are. I'll move it to like 18Z. All right. So you see here, particles, not that bad. Here is particles for tomorrow. Particles. There is some particles, but not a high level of particles. All right. This is Wednesday. Thursday could be worse. And then here's Friday, I think. All right, so let me move this back here. All right, so we'll go ahead and we'll look at the chemicals. This is just a forecast, so we may not have data here. All right, so this is carbon monoxide. So, yeah, it could be a bit hazy. It could be bad air quality. We're going to have to keep an eye on that. It's hard to predict sometimes. It really is hard to predict. We could go to the MODIS satellite and just look at the air mass that we're getting to, I guess. And I guess that would give us an idea here. You can see also smoke up here. All right, so here's smoke. There's a big wildfire up here. It looks like in Saskatchewan. I think that's Saskatchewan. But as far as we go, this is the air mass we're going to be dealing with. It doesn't look like it's that hazy, so we'll have to see what happens once this is the storm system we're dealing with. Again, this pushes east, so then that brings the heat into our area. So last thing I'm going to do here is just take a look at the rivers and lakes, and then we can finally wrap up this long weather update. Tremendous amount of stuff to talk about here. And I don't see anything in flood stage here, but we'll have to see if this eventually does. We do see some flood stages here with all that rain. Very impressive to see this. Months worth of rain in 1 day, and now we get to deal with the worst heat wave we've seen in quite some time. So, as we deal with the climate crisis unfolding, but hey, let's just complain about sharks and live it up. This I'll tell you, the news media, especially South Shore 12, they are a joke. But, yeah, this is absolutely ridiculous. That's all I got to say. We are in a climate crisis, and people are just, I don't know, people are just too dumb. I keep saying this. They're just too dumb to realize what's going on. Or maybe they just want to distract themselves and pretend it's all okay when it's not. We are in some serious trouble. It's really going to test humanity. Well, that's going to be it. Thank you for watching, and have a good night.